Lighter business. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn the music up, up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn the music up, up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn the music up, up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Turn the music up.
That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. I put my thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. You put your thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha.
I like it.
I want that thing right now.
I love it.
Not now, but right now.
I like it. I love it. It's us you just can't fuck with. I seen them all go and I seen them all come through, but not near one is as bad as you. Got me thinking, damn, am I looking right? Chiggy check myself, cause it's nice tonight. Like, I ain't walk up in here like it's flu season. My jewels are sick, I do this here for a reason. Like, you ain't the fly, it's just seen thus far. If you put your body to it, we can go real far. Got this side locked down, so what's poppin' with that? Slim on me the black car to get them bottles to crack.
If you a rider, you can come like that.
She said make it drop only if you bounce it back. Come on.
That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. I put my thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. You put your thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha.
Lighters up,
Flashlight,
get your lighters up.
flashlight,
More fire now,
freak night,
more fire.
all night. Let's work your body, body, move your body, body. Come on, ma, don't hurt nobody, body. Girl, you don't know me hardly. I ain't your average Charlie. I used to push a Harley. You from the bars, they barred me. Wait, nah, I ain't sorry. I'm on school like Atari, so like Mike Lowry. Off chickens to Siri. Labels, they tryna buy me. Take the advance bounce, you wanna find me. Damn, they say I'm grimy, but I'll let you try me. Have you screaming like a Benji, baby, come and tie me up. The truth, I ain't giving it up. Yo, I found you in the club, but we can take it to the truck. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. I put my thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. You put your thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I
Hitting with the thugs, get up, look around. Everybody see what's going down. I put my thing on it.
Flashlight,
I put my thing on it.
flashlight. And if the liquor store's closed, then head to the bar. Find you a bad shit and head to the car. You put your thing on it. Freak night, all night, all night. Let's go. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. I put my thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha. That's right, how damn she fine. If you need it, you can have it, that's the bottom line. You put your thing on it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I gotcha.
مصر يا الجوريا ورماي فرحان محمد جبعالة مركنا وبرنامجك جناحسجا يا كاتي عيسى
hogaamiyayaasha urur goboleedka iskaashiga dhaqaalaha ee dalalka bariga Afrika ee East African Community ayaa maalinta Jimcaha si rasmi ah qalinka ugu duugi doona heshiis wadada u xaari doona iskaashi buuxa oo ay dalalkan yeeshaan. heshiiskan oo loo yaqaan Common Market Protocol ayaa u horseedi doona dalalka Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya iyo Burundi inay isku furaan xuduudahooda, isku socodka dadka, maalgashiga, shaqada iyo inay hirgeliyaan ganacsi xor ah. urur goboleedkan waxa kale oo uu tiigsanaya